Hi, hello. Before you actually jump into this episode, I just want to give a fair warning that this, I don't know, might trigger some people. I don't even know what. Just take existentialism as a trigger warning here. And I want people to understand that they don't need to get worried or ask me if I'm okay. I really am. I'm not going to. I'm okay. I'm okay. So, yeah, let the happy intro music come in. So, I have recorded around 30-40 episodes, and some of them didn't get released because I felt like the topic wasn't really too great. Um, I just felt like it would turn out good, but it didn't. And I had to never re record an episode because of the content. It was always because we ran out of time or because the technical and audio glitches were there. But this is the first time where I have to re-record this episode. This is like the fifth attempt at recording this. And lucky for me, I can actually make this candid because I can record it every fucking day, every fucking night, or whatever. So I left social media. I left all the social media platforms a month ago, and nothing happened. A few of you tried to reach out, and I really appreciate that, but nothing happened. It was just that I wasn't feeling too great, and it was actually because I was feeling very irritated at everyone and everything. It came out from a very angry place. It came out from a very agitated, frustrated, helpless, hopeless, irritated state. And the thing is, no one else feels this fear. Even if they do, they don't feel it at the same extent that I do. I hated everything. Uh, I don't know where to start. Okay, um, and it sucks that the majority of this episode is going to be about this. But why do people have to put every idea out there? Like every thought they have, every opinion they have, every idea they have. Why are people trying so hard to be a minority when they're not? Why are people, or especially our generation, so critical of the previous generations for being really judgmental? Well, we do it all the time more than them. I think let's just talk to this and we go to the previous ones later. But you're judging around 10 people in a fucking minute, and I'm really lowering the number for the sake of your own respect. But we are, um, and the only reason why we are going ahead and actually calling our boomers out is because they make efforts at judging someone. They try to find that gossip. We don't. The gossip is fucking available at our fingertips. You know what? Hey, here's 10 stories about 10 different people's lives at my fingerprints. I can consume this in a minute and evaluate my decision. And we are okay with being judged too because we are putting stuff out there. This is not your makeup that you apparently do for yourself. This is you actually going out and putting a persona of yourself out there, and you're leaving it up to other people to judge. And you want them to judge you, but you go out and say that, you know what, I don't like judgmental people. You do. The only thing is, you don't like judgmental people who evaluate your actions as something that is not of their liking. You know how everyone, when someone compliments you, you get really fucking good, they are judgmental too. They judged you, they evaluated you as good, they found that complete persona of yours nice, and they complimented you. But there are people who have different tastes who might have not liked you, and they might or might not have said that to you, which is again rude and um, social manners. But how difficult is it to say that, you know what, I'm okay with people judging me as long as what they like what I'm doing. But yeah, I can see how difficult that could have been. I Wise left leaning side of politics becoming like right, uh, and I don't mean it as an insult to right wing or left wing. I just mean there is a reason why these are two separate sides, right? Why is left wing all of a sudden Congress and right wing all of a sudden BJP? I mean, why is left wing all of a sudden Congress? Like, why do we support? Why can't, no, like, even if it's not Congress, the idea is why is left wing so intolerant? Like, you weren't the ones who were supposed to be intolerant, right? I'm not saying that you're intolerant of the right wing. That is a given. You're intolerant of the people who don't understand or agree with you on a particular debate. I'm not saying a debate like, you know what, this person should not exist or this community should not exist. So not something like that. But maybe the way you're saying it, maybe your idea of it. Why is left so catered with everyone's individualistic ideas? Like, this isn't feminism that can be something that can be molded according to your own idea of it, where you can choose what's convenient to you, and then that becomes a feminism that everyone has to follow. But yeah, the idea remains same. Uh, it's While we're at that, and just I'm just touching over the subject of women, which does not sound great, but think of it this way, okay? Why is everyone trying to be a minority? And the example that I want to give out is this: why do straight women have to pretend to be a bisexual? Why does your idea of hyping another woman up, which is great, I think men should do that too, but why does your idea of hyping another woman just solely based on you telling them that you'd want to have sex with them? Um, but yeah, it's it's like, I understand you don't have a problem with homosexuality, and which is a good thing, which is, I don't know, in its own way very rare these days. And hey, you know what? We really appreciate you as a society. But imagine a white guy who is not racist, and what if he pretends to be black? Okay, that's the cultural appropriation part that comes in, right? Which you very openly talk about. So when that comes in, just because you don't have a problem with it does not mean you're allowed to be it. If you're not it, get out of the fucking way. Why do straight straight white women. Too specific, um, or straight brown women. But I like the reason I'm not criticizing men here is because I understand, like my first response uh, to when I hear a close friend of mine narrating a story that involved another man, my first response is why are men? And that is not me apologizing for my gender. The least I can do is just be a decent person myself and hope that that's enough, but or stop others when I see it. I'm not going to go ahead and apologize for my gender or my religion. Why is it that we encourage people who say I'm Hindu and I'm ashamed? Because they are finally looking at the problems of their religion. I mean, not they are finally looking. I don't think there is a problem, or even if I do, I wouldn't say it on a public podcast, right? But why is that encouraged? But a guy finally recognizing the problem of their gender and apologizing for it, not, why can't they be ashamed? Like, why can't celebrities who do nothing about the um, betterment of the way things are in the society, like, why is a stand valid based on the status of a person in the society, based on how well they are, based on how famous they are? Like, I have said stuff, and just because I have some followers, I've had people say that, hey, great, we need more people like you. But I've had other friends who just say the same shit out and then they are discouraged. Why is that? And I'm not calling myself a celebrity, famous, or anything. Ek दिन Instagram decides to shut off its application and boom, I'm not famous anymore. So yeah, I really, I'm being really, yeah, I know it. But yeah, it's, why can I say everything that I'm saying, knowing that there'll be 1,000 people listening to this, and at least one agree to it? A thing, and why is that the only thing that is acceptable? Why do we want to be unique and not at the same time let anyone else be different? Which brings me to this point: why do we have to put out any idea, every opinion, and every thought that we have? Why do you have to go out and explicitly say that what's happening in Afghanistan is sad? I mean, do you think if you didn't say that out loud, people would have assumed otherwise? Because if you do, then maybe shouldn't you work on your other actions, um, instead of proving your righteousness all the time? But you wouldn't do that, would you? Here's an idea. Why is every activity we do not validated till we have every person we know see it? Like, why can you not wish someone without putting a group picture that has them in it, and then put a cringe hat on top of it, then add another cringe stickers, then a fucking cringe paragraph, and then every follower of yours has to listen to I wish you happy birthday, or like, oh, tera happy birthday, oh, tera, and like, why? And that's still fine. It's not fine, I mean, but it's fine. Like, why can't you just go ahead and wish them or have a call? Because, oh, that is uncool, right? Because calling people is uncool. Because when someone sends an when someone calls me for something that could have been in text, right? Because that seems fucking cool to you. But why did a friend of mine wish Satya Nadella a very happy birthday on his WhatsApp story? Um, and I'm going out on a limb and I'm assuming that Satya Nadella and him don't have each other's numbers. But why? Why do why does everyone have to try and sound smart all the time? And a lot of things that I say here, like I know that I'm saying that don't keep put any every idea out there, and I am doing essentially that, and I know that I'm saying that don't make content, and here I am. But that is the problem, right? Why is me having a breakdown or whatever this is at 3 a.m. content? Fucking hate that word. But yeah, why is it not? Why is it necessary? Why does a trip not feel good until unless you have had everyone know that, hey, we know what I did this trip? Why do people talk about stuff that they're very clearly underqualified to talk about? Why does everyone want to be depressed? Um, why does everyone have to be the person who suffers through the symptoms when they don't suffer through the symptoms? It's like COVID, okay? Remember how when we had the complete COVID first wave, everyone was like, you know what, I think I have it. When they had like the smallest of COVID, and it was understandable because cold is one of the symptoms of COVID, right? And it's such a difficult disease to uh, diagnose at home because there are so many symptoms. So we just self-diagnose ourselves, and then we are like, hey, you know what, मेरे को तो लग रहा है मेरे को COVID हो गया. But when you'd be asked for plasma, you wouldn't do it because you don't really know you've had COVID. Um, Similarly, when you self-diagnose depression or any of the various mental health disorders that there are, uh, see, COVID has a distinction, right? The cold goes away, and oh, maybe मेरा COVID चला गया. Unfortunately, depression is mostly in your brain, or so it's you don't know when it has left because you don't have any physical symptom of it. So people try to derive physical symptoms of it, like just like I hate it. Like I'm so happy that there are people who don't know what it's like to be wanting to do something that your body doesn't allow you to do, where your mind is so eager to do something, but your body just wouldn't let you get out of the bed. Um, but then you know that this is a symptom, right? Or you know that this is something that happens as a consequence or one after effect, side effect of it. So why do you pretend to have that? Why does everyone want to be in the 10%? Like just because you can't be in the top 10 does not mean that you would be in any 10% of the normal population. But yeah, there are a lot of things that I actually want to come up and say here. But I have said it so many times, I don't even remember if it was on this podcast or another. So yeah, I guess that is why I took a break from social media. Because everything, not because I dislike people, okay, don't get me wrong. I would hate to be one of those people with dogs over people persona. I'd hate to be one of those people who are like, I don't like humans Believe me or not, I don't want to dislike people. I think I can't get myself to stop doing that because it's very difficult to not dislike them because they give you every reason to do so. So, what do we do? I went away from social media in the hope that, I'd be more connected to reality, and I just ended up feeling more and more disconnected because everyone's not what they're supposed to be, if that makes sense. Like, if you take the internet out for some time, you can't see anyone around you being the way they are right now. And I don't, okay, let's just take social media out. Internet as on a bigger scale is a uh, essential at this point. But let's just say social media out, people around you won't be what they are anymore. Uh, like I went down for my evening walk and I saw this car and I could see inside it because it was dark and there was sufficient light inside the car because there were three people in the car and the driver was on a phone call and the rest of the two were on their iPads and their phones. Why is the need of being connected so exclusively limited to meeting people who we can't meet? Like you talk to a person online when you're with someone else, and when you're with the person you are talking to online, you're talking to someone else altogether. I know I sound like one of those uncles who have a problem with everything, what the next generation does. But the problem is I have a problem with what my generation does. I don't want to grow up and become that person who has a problem with everything that happens. But I know I'm not the only one. I know that there are other just like me. Like if you're listening to this right till now, there have been moments like, oh fuck, I feel this way. And you feel like me too, but the thing is, why does it bother me so much and not anyone else? Why are brands so fucking weird? Like I'll not name any, I've worked with many as well, but like for example, Ola, why is Ola? Why what are they doing with the push notifications? Like रख ले 500 रुपए चुप हो जा यार मार तुम्हारा रेवोल्यूशन. But I think Ola is a great company as well. Please don't sue me. I really can't afford a lawsuit. If you have any problem with any of the things that I'm saying, please go out and call me out on Twitter. Just don't come to me. Okay? Don't leave a comment on this video. And this is not me having a problem with you evaluating me and saying something bad. Like, go out, evaluate me, say bad things about me. Just don't come to my notice because, or maybe I'm disassociated with reality. Maybe I'm very deluded, but I know that if I'm feeling what I'm feeling right now, right, and if you are presented with all of the context that I'm going out and constantly trying to provide, and if you still feel that I'm in the wrong, then I will not agree with you, and I don't want to spend my energy trying to explain myself. So if you think that I'm problematic, just go ahead. Uh, Yay, uh, write your own little Twitter thread. Don't keep your disagreement till yourself, okay? Your disagreement is not valid until you go ahead and state your disagreement out in public and have 20 odd people agree to your disappointment. But also at the same time, I don't want to see 21 people disagreeing with me and then trying to explain 21 people like, hey, you know what, great, uh, I'm glad that there are people disagreeing with me. So that way, at least I know that there are not people like not there are not everyone out there who agrees with everything that I'm saying, and yet are okay with the way things are going. So yeah, I think so. I took a break from social media. Funny story. There comes the enthusiastic outro music.
Hold up.